Hello, my name is Doug Goose with Condrey Corporation, and in this demo I'm going to be showing you how Senergy can manage the complete life cycle of a user's home folder. So on the left side I have Active Directory, and notice I have an Atlanta employees organizational unit with some users. I also have a London employees location, and then under HQ I also have a disabled employees OU, and I'm going to show you different options on that you may want to use depending on your preference when a user gets disabled. Now on the right side here I have the policies for Senergy. Let's take a look at the Atlanta home folder policy. Notice that this policy is associated with the Atlanta employees OU, so when I create a user in Atlanta it's going to automatically provision their folder based on this policy, and I'm going to provision that home folder to the Atlanta user's home share location. Now under the provisioning options I'm going to make sure that full control is not enabled, and I'm also going to copy in a structure, a folder structure that I want all my users to have based on this template folder in the policy. If I take a look at quotas, when a user is created they're going to get a 100 meg quota based on this policy setting, and I also have enabled the quota manager help desk role to be able to increase that up to 500 meg in 50 meg increments, and if you're a member of the Atlanta help desk based on this policy setting. Move schedule dictates when a user is moved in Active Directory, when are the allowed times to actually move their home folder, so you could set that to after hours. And then I have grooming rules set up for each one of the locations so that whenever I go through a grooming process, for example, I'm going to ignore anything in the audio and video folder, the approved folder, that gets provisioned based on the template. If it's not within that location, then it will be moved off to a vault, and that vault location is specified here in the policy to the grooming share area. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. Let's take a look at the disabled employees home. This policy is associated with, as you can see here, both a group and an OU. Now I did that so that I could basically specify that you could actually have a container, so if the user gets moved into the disabled employees container, then that policy would take effect, or you could actually do it based on group membership. So for this one I'm going to do it based on group membership, so I'm going to remove the disabled association with the container, and I actually have a product called Group Symmetry that is managing group membership when a user gets disabled. Now you may have an identity management solution that does that as well. Now if I take a look now at the target location, when a user gets disabled their home folder is going to get moved to the disabled users location, and then we're going to remove all the rights. I'm going to set risk management as the owner, and I'm also going to set special permissions to folder locations based on the template. And I'm also going to specify for the cleanup, so if a user gets disabled they get moved to the disabled users share, and then finally if they get deleted in Active Directory they will again get moved to deleted users, and then 30 days later they will get cleaned up. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this, and now let's go ahead and just provision a user in Atlanta. So this would be a create event, so I'm going to create Amy Baker. Set the password, say finish. Okay, so I just created Amy. So in the Atlanta employees, that means that the Atlanta employees home folder policy is going to take effect. And one of the things, since that is an event, we can see that Senergy just picked up on this create event and is actually calculating the effective policy for this user, which will be the Atlanta policy. So if I do a refresh, we can see that that's complete. Now let's switch out and take a look at Atlanta users under the home area. Here's A. Baker. Notice that I provisioned an approved audio and video folder, and I also provisioned a secure area. If I take a look at the secure area folder, you'll notice that I've assigned risk management read-only access to that, and of course Amy has rights to her home folder based on the policy settings, which was set to no full control here. Okay, so we just provision the home folder. Now, let's say that Amy gets married. Another thing that Senergy can take care of is anything that needs to happen if a user gets renamed. So I'm going to go in and let's just do a rename, and Alice is marrying some guy named Jones. So I'm just going to simply rename Amy to A. Jones. Select OK. Now that's a rename event. So the Senergy Event Monitor will pick up on that, and a couple of things need to happen based on this. First, we need to rename Amy's home folder out under the Atlanta share location, and then we need to update Amy's attribute. So let's switch over and take a look and see if it's taking care of that already for us. So we notice that we just renamed the folder to A. Jones, and if I switch back over here now to look at the attribute, we've also updated it under the AD attribute for user Amy. So I'm going to cancel this. Now let's go ahead and relocate Amy to the London location. So I'm simply going to move Amy to London. Now, as soon as I move Amy to London, this is a move event, and sometimes I can catch that in time. So when I move this user, then the London policy takes effect, and the London policy specifies that we're going to move this user's home folder to the London user's home share location. So let's see, this event is evidently already processed. So let's go out and look at Atlanta users. Notice that A. Jones folder is no longer in Atlanta. So what's happened is Senergy automatically has relocated this home folder to London. We took care of moving all the files. Notice that we maintain the metadata, the timestamps, as well as the ownership and permissions when we move that user. Now, the next thing that we need to make sure of on a move is that we've updated the attribute in AD, and notice that Senergy automatically took care of resetting that to the London user's share location. If you don't do that, then obviously the user can't log in. So Senergy took care of that. Now let's go through what happens when I disable a user. So now I'm going to go in and I'm just simply going to disable this account. Okay, remember that the policy was associated with the disabled employees group. So when I disable this user, I have group symmetry running, which is another product developed by Condrey that's going to automatically remove this user from these groups and then add Amy to the disabled users group. So let's go ahead and I'll switch through and look at that several times. So that's in the process of processing right now. So as soon as that completes, then we'll be able, and the user gets added. So let's make sure that, okay, so it looks like it's done, and you can see the user is a member of the disabled employees. So as soon as that user got added to the disabled employees, then the policy took effect and automatically moved the folder from London off to the vault location under home folders, disabled users. Okay, so this user object still exists in AD, but the policy has moved it off to the disabled users share location. And if I take a look at the security on this, notice that risk management has been assigned rights. Amy does not have any rights. Now, the next thing that can obviously occur would be they get disabled and then they need to get deleted based on whatever your retention policy settings are. So next I'm going to go in, we're just going to actually delete this user. So recall that for this policy, when I delete the user, it's going to move them to the disabled users location, and then 30 days later it's going to automatically clean it up. So that event has come through and it's going to get keyed up for it to be deferred for 30 days. So we'll go ahead and do a refresh here on this. You can see now there's our Amy. Okay, so Amy's been queued up for 30 days, and in 30 days it'll automatically clean it up. If we go out and take a look at the folder structure, notice that we've moved Amy from the disabled users folder location into the deleted users. So here's where it's going to sit for 30 days, and notice that we maintain the right for risk management based on this policy setting. So next I'm going to go out and let's just go ahead, and if I want to go ahead and do a make eligible, that'll process that to go ahead instead of waiting 30 days to process that cleanup. So now if I switch back out to the vault location, you'll notice that I went ahead and cleaned up the A. Jones folder. This completes this demo on home folder lifecycle management with Senergy. For more information on Senergy, please visit condreycorp.com/Senergy, or for a quote, please email sales@condreycorp.com.